The battle begins.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Airmech Strikedown 1v1 tournament, sponsored by Carbon Games, presented by Grizzly Wings, brought to you by RUI and OPTV Live. We are on game bracket AJ, game 3. Each of these players are tied up at 1 apiece. This is game 3. The final match for these two will determine who actually gets to move on to the finals and who is going to be knocked down to the third place match. Polarbearz versus Illusion. Unbelievable. I can't wait to see this. And I'm so glad to be on the stream with RUI. RUI, how's it going? How are things been? What do you have to think about this tournament up to this point? RUI, what do you have to think about this tournament up to this point?
Oh, my bad, Steve. I muted myself. But yeah, man, there's been a lot of great surprises. There's been a lot of things that exactly what you would expect. And there's been a lot of awesome games. Pretty much everything you could want in a tournament and more. Yeah, this is hopefully living up to the hype. Airmech Strikedown hype. And we are almost at the end, Steve, and I'm really excited to see who's going to be able to take this semifinal rubber match and actually move on to face the Kumi for the finals.
I know, I mean, either one of these players are very much easily contenders for that final match. It's a shame that there can only be 2 for the final match, because both of these guys definitely deserve a place in that final match, and I can't wait to see which one of the 2 are actually going to be the ones that are going to be in it.
My camera is frozen because I paused it, so I'm not really sure what's happening. So hopefully it plays out well. But yeah, man. So if you don't mind, let's get this game started so we can see this potentially awesome game.
Sounds good to me.
All right. So in 3, 2, 1, go.
So there we go. We are in the countdown. Illusion, as always, is going to get that extra XP boost and level up that Warthog cannon. Polarbearz getting the heal online. 2 Geminis in the cargo hold. Two Longhorns here. It's pretty much identical openings on both sides here. So it's really going to come down to who's a better player and really what difference can an Osprey make over a Warthog.
Yeah. Both players opening in the exact same way, very standard. Illusion going with Longhorn instead of Gemini this time, which is a little surprising to see. You know, I would like to know specifically why. I mean, there's conceptual reasons why you should go Longhorn over Gemini, blah, 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 but was there anything specific that maybe he was a little worried about? Polarbearz has Grinder, so it's actually very good for him that he brought Longhorn. If Polarbearz actually decides to do that Grinder spam, those Longhorn are going to be much more effective than Gemini in taking them out. Illusion just killing as many neutrals as he can to level up. Polarbearz doing a quick scout.
More than a quick scout, he's staying around, even almost like toying with Illusion in the process of staying so close to him and circling him around.
That's what I was talking about. Well, how he's able to dodge just by staying
right
on top
my
of him.
God!
Yeah, and
did you see how low
away.
that life was? But yet he still stayed away. That is
And
taunting your opponent. That is psychological warfare right there. Like, look, I can stay right around you. I can fly. I can wait until basically I know that I am going to be at a sliver of health, but yet I'm still going to survive over you. That is another amazing part of a game like this. Is it's not just your twitch abilities, how fast can you move your fingers, but can you out-psych your opponent? And that, to me, was complete psychological gameplay right there.
Mind games, Steve. They are playing mind games. They're not just playing Airmech, they're playing Mind Mech. And let's see if Illusion is actually affected by this Mind Mech play that Polarbearz. I don't know. I'm just making crap up, man. But yeah,
sounds good.
This outpost really quickly. I don't know. This might be a little over aggressive in terms of the leapfrogging. He's actually really low in health. He might. Oh, he gets finished off. So I'm pretty sure this might actually be the deciding. That might have been the deciding death. He says, "Oh, the outpost." That's one of the biggest things about taking outposts quick nowadays, because they don't have, you know, unlimited energy or completely full of energy right at the beginning. They, you know, don't let you charge up.
They need charge to build up those capacitors so that way they're ready to heal and have that energy when needed. I mean, Illusion finally back, but at this point he's lost all but one of his tanks. That really puts Polarbearz at a huge advantage, 28 to 14. It's a 2-to-1 upkeep advantage.
And Illusion actually almost finishing off Polarbearz in that retreat, but Polarbearz barely getting away. That might have actually been huge. And yeah, Polar at a almost 2-to-1 advantage. It doesn't look very good for Illusion right now. He lost a lot of tanks in that opening Fairy. Probably, yeah, once again, a little bit too over-aggressive. Oh, he's tried to sneak by Polar there, but with some creeps, but instead decides to defend his forward.
Which is probably in the long run might have been the better decision for him, but he really he needs Polarbearz to die at least once. He needs a little bit of time on that map just to try to do a little bit of something. But of course, if he can get Polarbearz up to like level 4 or 5 before that death happens, that'll be better, because then that respawn time is just going to take much, much longer. But right now, Illusion's approach of typically trying to max out those levels and stuff is really not working for him, because he's just been feeding Polarbearz so much, and Polarbearz is for the fact that he has nothing focused on levels ability, Polarbearz is getting fat real quick.
Yeah, I really do think that probably would have been okay if he didn't do, he didn't get a little bit greedy with that initial top outpost grab, and then he started to ferry over. If he just stayed on that side, this would be a very, very, very even battle, I think. Polarbearz getting close to Illusion, not in the area. Polarbearz making a great amount of AA. It's pretty much exactly what you need to do with the Warthog, or playing against the Warthog. And Illusion now moving out with no AA in that club. It's all Longhorn. And is he going to try to distract Polarbearz right now?
Well, he needs to, because if Polarbearz sees this, then he's going to know, it could really not work out. And there is a lot of tanks that he's going to have to break through on this bottom. He needs to keep Polarbearz either away or dead. But now Polarbearz has seen it. He's aware of it. He's got all these Geminis coming out of his queue. This could be GG.
Too late for the roller. It's a little too late for that roller.
A little too late. Way too late, man. That was like, it come and gone already before you even put it down.
48 to 23.
Yeah, I mean, he's losing too many units. I mean, a few are getting through, but he's just losing way too many units for a match such as this. In the semifinals, you don't want to lose that much. 48 to 17. Only 4 tanks making it through, and they're all pretty significantly damaged. This is going to do a little bit of damage to the main base, but not much. Oh, I do see a path, though. I see a custom path. Polarbearz using a custom path to pull his units back, man.
Oh, I don't really think that's necessary. There weren't enough tanks to really threaten him. He could have probably killed them all with either one with a Justice mech or with one tank ferried over, because they were really, really low on health. I don't know if he has life bars turned on or not.
Maybe not, or he just didn't realize, or he was worried about additional drops that he thought maybe were coming. I mean, who knows what he was thinking, but either way, I mean, we got to finally see it. So for anyone that's always wondered, how can I pull my units back for when I need to do it, you guys just saw it. You set a path, you set your units through it, and you pull them back for that defense. Illusion, at least fortunately for Illusion, since those tanks were pulled off of the outpost, it at least gave him time to neutralize it, but I don't see where that's really going to work out into any significant advantage for him.
There is a huge tank push from Polarbearz now moving out, but Illusion with the defender's advantage might be okay. I'm not sure. No, this is probably going to be weak.
He's going to suffer a lot of damage, and he doesn't have his ultimate ability yet.
Exactly.
I mean, he needs these to keep coming through one by one, but even so.
Oh, but that roller's actually going to do a pretty good job absorbing a lot of fire. Polarbearz landing behind the Longhorn, distracting their fire. The roller's about to get taken out. Polar actually even sent out the top units as well. So even if Illusion can take care of this, he's going to probably lose his close outpost, or at least take a lot of fort damage in the meantime.
One of the two, but this top push really doesn't have too much. It's only 4 Geminis, 2 Seekers. I mean, it'll do a little something, like you said. It'll probably be enough to at least take out the outpost. But not much more than that. But at least, fortunately for Illusion, unfortunate for Polarbearz, Illusion still at least holds on to that outpost right here. If he lost that one as well, this would pretty much be a GG at that point, because that would be full map control in favor of Polarbearz. But even so, having that one outpost down there, I really don't see... Illusion really needs to pull some sort of rabbit out of his hat right now.
I really would have liked to see him counter push with the Longhorn that he had left. I guess he didn't really know that there was that top push coming, but I mean, at this time, like, if you could imagine him sending that out by the time that whole exchange was over, the Longhorn might have already been able to take over that close outpost, and he still hasn't used them quite yet. So yeah, Polarbearz at a 30 to 26 advantage. Illusion now bringing Longhorn down to defend his fort, probably for an eventual move out. But it's looking really, really dire for Illusion. Polarbearz has a huge income advantage and an upkeep advantage and a max upkeep advantage. So let's see how Illusion decides to approach this. Healing up his tanks. Again, I would have liked to see him move them out earlier.
And instead of moving them out, he's actually going to be pulling them back, not using the pathing on there. I would have liked, as you said, also too, for him to push out because, as you said, this outpost completely undefended. And then if we look at the main fortress, completely undefended. Even if it wasn't a game-winning push, it still would have served as enough of a distraction because there was enough tanks in there that Polarbearz would have had to respond to it. And in the process of responding, may have given Illusion the time that he would have needed to pretty much clear out most, if not all, of these tanks, kind of almost resetting the map back to scratch. But by having nothing to distract Polarbearz from this upper area, all that he has going for him right now is this artillery firing in that has no jamming capabilities, and it's doing some damage.
Yeah, it's actually pretty significant.
It is actually just enough of Polarbearz just kind of wondering what Illusion was doing on the bottom in there, like dogfighting thing, gave Illusion's artillery enough time to do something. Whether
Illusion is at his unit cap right now, though, but Polarbearz is actually kind of on the rope. He didn't build a jammer. He finally is pumping one out now, so he will probably be able to sustain right now. Illusion might be able to, I was going to say he might be able to get a focus fire because he's kind of really using up a lot of the energy to heal his units up, but Illusion running out of energy, not able to get that focus fire. And Polarbearz running circles around Illusion. Oh, and he might be able to snipe the jammer. Oh, he sniped the jammer.
One of the two.
But there is another one.
There's still that second one out on the field. He needs to get that second one down, and then his artillery can be effective once again. And Polarbearz is diverting so much of his upkeep and his credits, specifically the grinders, which, yeah, I mean, they're going to clear out the units, but they're going to do no main actual base damage themselves, where, you know, Illusion might actually have enough on the field if those artillery can do enough damage to the grinders initially that, I don't know, man. Right now, this is too hard to call. I mean, Polarbearz has map control, but Illusion, I want to count Illusion out of this. Yeah. And I want to count him out. And I mean, a lot of that upkeep is devoted to those grinders because, you know, those use more upkeep than, you know, a lot of the other units do. And he's just really winning this artillery war. And there we go. That's what he needed. I think you're like half a second ahead of me.
Oh, baby. Nope. All right, I paused it for about half a second, Steve. All right, now you caught up.
There we go.
All right, but Polarbearz does have another jammer coming out. He hasn't put it down quite yet, just busy healing some stuff up. Illusion is actually really ahead in terms of unit upkeep, 49 to 37. Illusion is actually doing a lot of work, has already gotten his I didn't even realize, how did he hit level 9 already? This game has gone by really fast.
He hit level 9 just from all this artillery firing in, and basically Polarbearz has been feeding him with all this I mean, his entire army was devoted to that forward outpost, and because the fact that the artillery just did that is what Illusion needed. That is
for Illusion to push.
He has to do something right now.
It's time for him to. I really think he should push. I mean, his artillery are doing work, but I mean, with a push, he can start moving his units out and then just keep going from post to post, and he still has that big cache of Longhorns at his forward outpost.
The thing I found most interesting is that Polarbearz had a significant amount of credits. He just spent them after he respawned, but he was up to like 30,000 credits, and he did not use any buyback abilities. He was not worried about saving his units or anything. Derp.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. Illusion
that's huge in the other way now.
Full comeback. Oh, but Polarbearz does not have this outpost anymore. It's under Illusion's control, so Polarbearz forced to pull back to the mid. And right now, Illusion, even though he's respawning, finally comes back. I think he did do a little bit of buyback. I wish we had some sort of animation during Spectator to actually see that, so we wouldn't have to like stare at credits and anything. But
well, I can tell you, he did use a little bit of he did do partial buyback, trying to match him up. And now counter kills back on here. So now suddenly we're hitting level 8, level 9. These mechs are doing much more aerial damage. Get in the credit box. This could be game changing. I mean, I
don't even know who got the box last time.
Or is that the same box? And the second one hasn't spawned yet.
It spawns new ones, I thought. But either way, Polarbearz, holding down spacebar and bringing out units out from his outpost, delaying him a little bit with that flight time. I really, really do think Illusion's moving out sometime soon because Polarbearz is actually on the ropes. I don't know if he really realizes it, but it's 26 to 58 right now, and Illusion's just making more artillery when I think just mass amounts of tanks would probably be the best option.
Because he probably, I mean, he's not fully scouting. Once again, Polarbearz going down, giving Illusion yet another power play. Level 9 here. It's going to be a very long respawn.
Yep.
Trying to see
really, really overextending there. I mean, I don't know what he was thinking there. Oh, I should land and try to snipe a Longhorn, but I mean, yeah, it might have been good if you could. I mean, it's so deep in enemy territory is the thing, you know. So, yeah, just strange choices today.
Some for sure. I mean, he's definitely trying to push his advantage. I know he's probably thinking the longer this game goes on, the more difficult it's going to be for me to win because I got to deal with this Warthog, you know, just bringing more and more power and abilities online. He's feeling the losses. I mean, he felt the fact that he had almost complete map control, and now the map is like almost 50-50 again. He obviously he can't see the upkeep numbers the way that we can, but you know he's feeling it, and sometimes that just makes people not necessarily do the best choices that they normally would have made.
Yeah, yeah, I think he might have gone a little over aggressive there. He probably, I mean, he is in Polarbearz. Polarbearz, after taking that close outpost, I think his biggest mistake is that he didn't put a jammer down already. Illusion going straight for their artillery play, which is really not that expected. You usually get really worried about that pressure and, you know, make defensive tanks. But Polarbearz now taking back his forward outpost, even though after Illusion neutralizing it, Illusion's still way ahead in terms of the upkeep, 30-52, moving out his units now, going down the middle lane. Where is he? I mean, assuming he sent them to Y, and will he switch them ever? Will he ever switch them, or, yeah.
Heal Nova, that is just unbelievable how so many of those units were so close to death, and then, bam, it's like full health almost on all of them. That, I mean, Osprey, just unbelievable capabilities of keeping your units alive. But when does Polarbearz actually notice this? And actually, it looks like that he is going to be going on a T-push. He's going to try to claim ground little by little. I mean, this is going to cost him a lot of units to take over this outpost, especially with 2 grinders in defense. But he's using that upgraded Warthog cannon to really take something that should be incredibly damaging of those grinders and really making quick work of them. This is it right here.
I don't really agree with Illusion's usage of his ultimate right now. It didn't really make that big of a difference in this exchange, but usually you would have delayed it till your units started to approach and then kind of landed right next to the enemy Gemini, so they all focus on you. However, he is still decisively winning this battle, neutralizing the post, killing the majority of Polarbearz units. His creeps are walking in. They won't be able to take the outpost now, but all of Polarbearz units are pretty much going to get finished off, and this looks like it is going to be Illusion's game eventually. With 3 rollers in his build queue,
well, let's not just say that it's going to be Illusion's game indefinitely. I mean, Illusion was down to what, like 7 upkeep versus 50 on Polarbearz?
Grabbing the box. He grabbed the box again, Steve. Did you just see that? He grabbed the box again, so he has another 20K worth of units coming out.
I think those boxes have really also helped him get back into this game as well.
Yes. I agree. I think he actually did grab the first one. We didn't notice it, but Polarbearz is 22 upkeep on Polarbearz side versus 47 on Illusion side. And Polarbearz might get finished up one more time.
I don't think he's getting out this time. Nope, not that time. Not that time. He was not going to get out of that. You can do the dance.
Yeah. It looked potentially like he could get away, but now Illusion moving to the next outpost, completely skipping that forward. Polarbearz with that defensive line of tanks right there, but Illusion's counter pick of this map, I don't know, maybe he had something up his sleeve that yeah, but again, once again, I do think that one of the pivotal attributes of this game was that Polar did not put down a jammer when he took that forward outpost, and Illusion immediately went with the artillery play. And now Polarbearz able to grab this outpost under control one more time, but was right back down, and it does look like Illusion is going to be able to eventually grab this, and is he going to get killed again?
Oh my god, how does he get away?
Illusion ran out of energy is the thing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man,
I was focused on Polarbearz, trying to watch the death go on. Yeah, I mean, that was definitely the area where, I mean, if we're going to have to say there was a throw somewhere, the throw would have to be the fact that, yeah, Polarbearz did not get the jammers out anywhere near a timely fashion, and I mean, he had the game pretty much in his pocket, and because of that artillery and the incredibly methodical play by Illusion, I mean, Illusion could have went into panic frenzy mode, but he didn't. He kept his head on him, and he made some fantastic choices, and in the process, came back from the brink. I mean, it was pretty much about to be a GG, and he's come back from the brink and has Polarbearz now up against the rope, and now Polarbearz is the one that really needs to find that I mean, what did I say with Illusion? Illusion needs to pull some sort of rabbit out of his hat. He did. Now it's, I mean, yeah, Illusion needed to pull a rabbit.
Illusion overextending himself one more time. I think he's getting a little bit careless because he's ahead. If he plays it more, you know, like you said, methodical and keeps it reasonable instead of kind of overextending just like he just did. He'll be easily able to take this game as he has a huge upkeep advantage and he has map control right now, or theoretically he kind of has map control. But Polarbearz will be able to take this forward outpost back under his control. Will he start to advance toward mid, or will he try to go towards Illusion's forward outpost? Both are really well fortified. Illusion bringing a lot of creeps here. I don't know what he's going to get out of this, but he might be able to focus Polarbearz one more time.
He's trying. The outpost has no energy left, but the damage is real coming in from Polarbearz as well. And he is able to survive that. Maybe he was hoping to bring in the creeps for extra anti-air shots, or I don't know what he was looking for there. But unfortunately, whatever his plan was, it did not work out for him. But it's very interesting, Polarbearz, the way that he lines up those units the way that he does.
Yeah, I mean they're in intense defensive position. It pretty much covers like almost every angle, and it's spaced out to the point where Illusion won't really easily be able to snipe anything. He's still trying to focus Polar in his flight path, but Polar doing that super zigzag dodging. Yeah, there's no way he's really going to be able to handle it. And it's really
you were saying? Oh man!
Oh, so close. Polarbearz getting away one more time. Ridiculous.
Sometimes he gets away when he shouldn't even get away. And right now, I mean, if Illusion doesn't kind of, chill out and take a deep breath and look at stuff, he could turn around and now throw this game. I mean, he was in a position where, yeah, we were saying pretty much he should completely win. But in the process now, Polarbearz is starting to come back. I mean, yeah, it's 38 to 59 upkeep. But the thing is, Illusion's upkeep is split across the top and the bottom, where Polarbearz is really more grouped together in a nice little line across the map. So yeah, I mean, all things considered, of all the credit boxes Illusion has got and everything, I mean, that's why we're saying, I mean, this is pro play. This is how you keep trying to come back and survive. And for a lot of you that are watching that are maybe newer to Air Mech, and, you get into a position and you're just like, oh, that's it, it's already GG. These guys are showing you how you can really come back from something. But
Illusion is pushing top lane right now.
And top lane is very lightly defended.
Did Polarbearz see it? Yes, he did. He did realize it. He is going to start to bury his units over. Is Illusion throwing this away just to take this bottom outpost under his control? He'll easily be able to clear a lot of these units. 2 creeps have gone into, and level 4 creeps are really strong. Polarbearz is still struggling to keep up with this defense, and he has pretty much allocated all of his units to the top. Will Illusion utilize that push at all? Or will Illusion get finished off by Polarbearz? No! Wow, so close. And
actually, these tanks are not stopping. They are on a fort push. So Polarbearz has to continue to deal with this, and he has nothing here. So he's got to completely divert his focus and time to this. This will give Illusion the time that he needs to pretty much take over every single other outpost. The fact that it wasn't a T and it was a Y was the best move that he could have made.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a very good point, Steve. Illusion has every every ability that's really important maxed out completely right now. He doesn't have any Energy Guardians right now. Oh, and a box one more time has popped up. Illusion is going to come back and swoop that up. And Polarbearz now counter pushing in. Will Illusion be able to hold this? He does have his ultimate ability. He needs to just land and just use it. Or not, or I'm not sure. Is he? Should he? I think
he's so worried about the Seekers. I mean, there's so many Seekers that are out that he feels maybe he can't even land and pull off the ultimate ability in time. Yeah, see, he actually tried to land behind the fortress.
He didn't really need to all the way over there. Yeah, he's still at a massive unit advantage. It's 53 to 28. This is everything that Polarbearz has right now. This is literally his only shot using this group of units. He might be able to retake this outpost under his control, so I cannot believe how much back and forth there has been in this game, Steve. Craziness.
Craziness in a really great edge of your seat, oh my god, what's going to happen kind of way. Like, this does not feel like a 20-minute game at all. This feels like it's been 5 minutes.
Oh, that is actually true. Wow, it's already at 20 minutes. But Illusion is pushing out again. A roller leading the way. His ultimate has not cooled down yet, so it's a little bit dangerous. But he will be able to neutralize this outpost. That's probably priority number 1. He did grab that box, so he has a lot more units than Polarbearz, in terms of what he could have produced in the last short amount of time. His tanks are still heading here. But Illusion really won't help if he dies. This is going to be huge. Will Polar do the chase? He will, but he will not be able to finish him off. Polarbearz has a lot of units over here still, but there's so many tanks coming for Illusion. Steve, I don't know what's happening.
Craziness is happening, man. They just, dude, you can't hear it on the other one, but you know what? I gotta play the train sound here, man. Because this is just trains of hype and craziness everywhere. So there we go. See, if you were watching on OPTV, you would actually heard my train sound.
Yeah, you can appreciate Steve's sound effects if you're actually on that stream. See? But right now, Illusion... pretty much overrunning everything that Polarbearz has over here. He did use his ultimate. I'm a little confused about his usage of his ultimate. He's frequently not really distracting tanks too much. He just kind of uses it just so he can make sure he can't die instead of like use it in more specific advantageous positions. But right now he will be able to take that bottom left outpost under his control. A lot of tanks in his build queue coming out, and Polarbearz is at a 10 to 24 disadvantage speed. Can we start to make what?
I'm looking where the 24 really is, and I mean, yeah, okay, there is 6 in the queue, but besides the queue, there's really not much of anything anywhere on here. I mean, both these guys are almost reset back to scratch. The only difference is that Illusion has the map, but really, if you look on the map, there's really, other than the occasional 1 tank here, 2 tanks here, and 2 tanks here, there's really nothing anywhere for any of these guys. Like, it's like full wipes everywhere.
It's crazy, man. This is kind of the kind of air mech that, you know, you'd really want to see. Just a lot of units being used and not just, you know, stagnated and in our artillery war. So this has definitely changed my mind about Salt. I love this map now, just through this game. You know, I was hesitant. Polarbearz might go down. No, Illusion, like Polarbearz tripping up Illusion with his flight paths all the time now. And Illusion, level 15 Warthog, able to triple carry Longhorn.
And I mean, he's just starting to get enough of this. Yeah, he's just getting enough of this. He just wants to do whatever damage that he can. He knows that there's pretty much no defense here yet. Take some damage in. I mean, you can definitely feel that both these guys, that each one of them realizes that, you know, they are both up against great players against themselves, and they're really trying to figure out, okay, you know, this tactic isn't working, this strategy's not working, maneuver's not working. You know, what do I do at this point? And Illusion is literally just resorting to just ninja drops at this point, just trying to do something.
I can imagine that at their desks, playing on their computers, both of these players have been extremely frantic at many times and have been incredibly stressed out. Illusion doing more and more fort damage, but I don't know how productive this is actually being. He's although he is getting fort. Finishes off
air to ground
with the ground to air. A lot of players against Warthogs don't really expect that ground to air to happen when they lift off, but a lot of experienced Warthog players, especially like Illusion, are able to get that finishing hit just through ground to air alone.
And through that, and the fact that he was able to, because Polarbearz had so many Geminis at the base at that point, it initially maybe it looked like that Illusion was just throwing away Longhorns, but in the end, I think it really made a significant difference. He really brought Polarbearz' unit cap down, made him expend significant resources to building up those Geminis, and still came out on top, still has more units out on the battlefield. I really think that it was a great maneuver by him for putting that base pressure on, putting that mental stress on the Polarbearz. And interestingly though, they've never cleared up the neutrals in those middles. Those neutrals are still there. They're so focused on each other. And again, this goes to go for you newer players too. You don't have to always worry about all the neutrals like right here. I mean, these guys, 25 minutes in the game and neutrals are still on the map, because you can kill all the neutrals you want. It's not going to guarantee you a win. Interesting placement right there.
Yeah,
you see the way he spread those out and that far away from the fortress. I mean, if that was me, I would drop it right by the fortress.
Yeah,
because he's trying to wait for them to come in more. So seeing Polarbearz diverted units to the bottom. I don't know, still not.
It was easy for Polar to see them. He scouted them pretty much immediately, responded immediately, but I don't know. I think Illusion might even be able to just win this game just through drops alone. He's getting significant amounts of damage each time, and because of his upkeep advantage, and actually the box is spawned right now. So if I kept track of it this time, Steve, 24:30 I think was when that box spawned, and because he's getting the box, because he has so much more income due to his outpost advantage, he can easily throw away these units and just continually chip away at Polarbearz's health.
Yeah, but exactly right. I think that he feels like, okay, you know what? I can basically build these disposable units. And it's working. I mean, Polarbearz's base is down to, what, maybe 35%? I mean,
Something
he's
like that,
done
yeah.
some pretty significant damage for, consider the fact that he only brings 3 Longhorns over every so often, and this is only like, what, the 10th, 11th, and 12th one I think he's poured over, or maybe the 13th, 14th, 15th.
It has
been much smaller than what a typical push would involve, where he still has units all over the map, still defending his outpost, so he's not losing territory, while he's doing damage at the same time, and also forcing Polarbearz to both waste time to respond to this, as well as waste credits to build these units in defense of his base that then are just being destroyed by the Warthogs themselves.
Yeah, and you know this unit cluster he has over at Polarbearz forward on the right side is you know not using them is almost
Which
the
one's
same
gonna
as
kill?
using
Which
them.
one's gonna kill? They're
Oh my
both
God.
so
I
close.
think
Who's gonna make it? Drops to the ground and the ground, and now they're both on the ground. Oh my God!
Oh my!
He got the
goodness,
kill.
that was
Look, you can't even
ridiculous.
see a life bar left on there, man. There is like, it's a hair length of green, and that was it.
That was ridiculous.
And the point that he dropped to the ground and he still kept shooting, it made Polarbearz think that he was still in the air. Polarbearz didn't realize it because he didn't want to get too close, because the closer you get to a Warthog cannon, the more damage you suffer, because Warthog damage falls off very quickly. So you want to stay further away. And he took advantage of that in one of the most skillful ways I've ever seen. And
Yeah, landing and using ground to air. It took Polarbearz completely off guard. It does look like Polarbearz is not moving, and Illusion calling to GG. I don't know, is Polarbearz typing? But yeah, it does look like this is going to be the end of the game. One Longhorn firing, and Polarbearz not even reacting. I'm assuming it's possible he threw his keyboard against the wall and walked away.
Keyboard against
very
the
possible.
wall, or a couple of punches to it, or I don't know.
Incredible game. Probably the shortest 28 or however long minute game I've ever experienced, just because things kept happening. It definitely did not feel that long. But yeah, 6 deaths for Polar, only 3 for Illusion. Illusion killing Polar 6 times. So you know, every single death from Polar, and you know that made a huge difference. Very, very close in the score, but wow, what a dynamic game! So back and forth. Definitely fitting of Strikedown. So Steve,
And
we are
the
gonna
fact is, this is just semifinals, man. It's going to
I
get
know,
even
right?
better.
And so we do have the 3rd place and finals game coming up. So stay tuned. Don't change that. I was gonna say change that channel, but that doesn't make sense. Don't go to a different channel. Stay with me and Steve, and we're gonna get the semifinals are over. We're gonna get the 3rd place and finals matches going right after a round of Raffle Mix. Oh, all right, guys, stay tuned.